some storms in the winter.
Mm.
Right, guys, I think we can start. So first of all, imagine Mike Dogatin Yogas Falchugaji and webinar show and Darna can Shrite de Trur, it'll Nigeria Margia Digita.fbm. So good morning everyone and welcome to this webinar, the second in a series of 3, all focused on digital marketing for SMEs. A little background on the Digimarket project first. The project is funded by the EU and its partners in Ireland with Udrus Nageldigda and Westbic, in Northern Ireland with ICBAN and Ulster University. We also have a partner in Finland with Karolia University and in Iceland with SSMV. The Digimarket project aims to address various challenges that companies in peripheral areas may face, such as size of market, distance from the market and isolation. And we are doing this in a few ways. Firstly, we are working with SMEs to implement immersive technology in their marketing efforts, such as 360-degree videos, augmented reality, and virtual reality. Secondly, in the autumn, we will launch a website where companies like yours can register and network with similar companies that share same problems, the ones you face. And lastly, we are compiling a list of free or cost-effective marketing tools and software that SMEs can avail of to further enhance their marketing efforts. And speaking today, we have Meg O Gara, owner of Megnificent Creative. Meg is a creative designer, trainer, and provides tech automation to entrepreneurs so they can run their businesses with ease. Meg has also co-authored, designed, and illustrated the Mammy Handbook, a compilation of stories and advice from mothers around the world. And secondly, we have Colm Healy, the owner of Skelligs Chocolate in Southwest Kerry. And Colm has owned the business for over 16 years, and the company supply customers both boutique outlets and multinationals. So with that, I'll pass over to Meg. So Meg will speak, and then Colm will speak, and then we'll have a short Q&A. So if you want to go ahead, Meg.
Great, thanks so much for that lovely introduction and all the information about Digimarket. So thanks everyone for joining us here this morning. My name is Meg O Gara. I am the owner of a business called Megnificent Creative, located in Donegal on the southwest Donegal, on the west coast of Ireland. So today I'm really delighted to be talking to you all about some marketing automation and some tools and things that you can be using in your own businesses to grow your income stream and scale your business. So without further ado, we'll jump into what we've got here. So marketing automation. Today, what we're going to be covering is just a brief overview really of what is it, what good automation looks like, and how to make it work for your business. So your business, I know the people that have joined us today, some are small entrepreneurs, small business owners and entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, and we've got some larger enterprise operations that have joined us. So I'm hoping that in this kind of whistle-stop tour of marketing automation that we're going to go over, there's something here for everybody, no matter what size your business currently is. You'll find something useful to help you grow. So what exactly is marketing automation? Well, nowadays, it's rare to kind of come across a business that doesn't wish that they could automate some aspect of what they're doing in the blink of an eye. I often find, though, that people kind of are a bit apprehensive about the implementation aspect. And this is something that kind of stops people from making that switch to automation, or even the fear of handing over too much of the control of what they're doing in their business to machines. Is this sense of the machines are taking over. But you will see as we go on that that's really not the case. This is something that's definitely going to help you do more. So in a nutshell, marketing automation refers to the software that automates your marketing for you. And this software is designed to help you prioritize and execute your marketing tasks in a way that's more streamlined and more efficient. But what does that really mean for a marketer or a business owner? Well, that means it can help you free up your time. So you're not compromising on the authenticity of the content that you're producing, and it will also help you reach your goals faster. So ultimately, with your goal with marketing is to generate, if your goal with marketing is to generate more revenue for your company, you're going to need to do this going through different stages. So the different stages look a bit like this. You want to firstly drive traffic to your website. You want to convert that traffic into leads. And then you want to close those leads into customers. And this is where marketing automation really, really, really makes an impact on the conversion and closure stages of your selling process. So overall, what does marketing automation do? Well, or what's it good for? It's really good for scaling up successful processes and automating repetitive tasks. The things that it doesn't do for you, it won't do the thinking, it won't do the planning. It cannot create compelling content. It can't do engagement for you, or at least not effectively, in a way that will give a positive customer experience. So now that we know clearly what it does and doesn't do, I often get asked about this, about marketing automation. People feel like it's just a buzzword. It's just something that's, you know, kind of going to come and go through the industry. It may sound like a buzzword, or it may sound kind of something that's for businesses that maybe aren't at the stage that you're at. Oftentimes people think, oh, well, that's something that's for big enterprises, and it's not affordable. But actually the opposite is true. You only have to know where to begin. So you need to know what to focus on. You need to choose the right software and analyzer for your efforts, and then start with your marketing automation to truly take your business to the next level. So marketing automation is going to help you by saving time for the manual effort that you're doing at the minute. If it's done well, it will increase your revenue and it will save you on costs. And probably the most importantly, it will allow you to nurture your most valuable customers and focus on new customers with the highest potential.
Sorry, Meg?
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing your screen so you have the full screen?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Thanks.
All right, we have that.
Sorry to disrupt you mid-flow.
No worries, no worries. Right, well, I can't see the share thing. Hang on. There we go. Oh, sorry, it's right now. Can you see it okay? Oh, it says it's disabled. It's disabled participant screen sharing. I can share this way if this makes it easier. Although I may be covering some of my slides now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so where were we? So it's going to save you time, it's going to increase your revenue and save your costs, and you're going to be able to nurture the most valuable clients that you have or potential customers. So how are we going to go about doing this? Well, we're going to firstly focus on setting our priorities. We need to be really clear about what we want to achieve and how we're going to track it. So this is a prerequisite before you get started. If you don't really, really clearly set your expectations, you're not going to know where to go, you're not going to recognize when you get there, and you're not going to be able to kind of monitor things. So if you want to save time, you need to first focus on setting these priorities, being really clear. I like to do this with like post-it notes, writing down all my priorities and then, you know, sticking them up on the wall according to what things I really need to focus on first. Next, we need to define the customer journey and the touch points. So we need to know what our customer journey is. You can only optimize what you're doing if you know what your leads and your customers are purchasing and what their journey is going to look like. So marketing funnels is really, really useful for this, and it's a really useful way to kind of keep it simplified and understand what your customer journey looks like. You can draw one for your business to get a better idea of where your customers might get stuck. So here's a quick example, which I probably am covering over now. So hopefully you can see this here. I have a bigger one coming up in a second. So your primary selling points. So sorry, for this you have your funnel example. So say you run a real estate business, for example, your primary selling point is the traffic that you're going to get over to your website with the listings and your offers that you've got for the property. Maybe you run Google ads or social media ads or Bing ads to generate the traffic that you get to your website. You might maybe also send some newsletters to people that are on your email list. Your primary goal here is to generate leads and close them, right? So there's multiple touch points throughout this journey and throughout the customer journey that you have to go through before you close the deal. So this is there where we find out what we can automate. Now that we know how our customer behaves and we've identified the various touch points, then we slowly start automating. So in other words, we're going to look exactly at which points of the journey we can replicate, our processes that we can systematize. This is where tools like HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, and Keep are really, really useful. They are mostly focused on email marketing, social media ads, search and display ads, SMS, so your kind of traditional text messages, widgets and pop-ups that happen on your websites. So these tools, there's other similar tools out there, but these are really robust tools that a lot of people use in the industry, and they represent the channels that you use that you can get in touch with your audience. So let's have a look again now at our diagram. These are the touch points here, and I've now put the touch points for your customer in red so you can see exactly the points of contact that you have. And these are the points of contact that then we can really look at building out robust automations so you can focus on other aspects of your business. So these are things like your emails, your alerts, SMSs, and also your remarketing. Once you've just identified what your touch points are in your whole journey, then you need to choose the right automation software, right? And there's so many. I see so often people get bogged down with one of two things happens. Either they get stuck because they feel so overwhelmed because there's such a plethora of tools available, then people don't know ultimately which is the right one. Or sometimes the opposite happens. People sometimes see the first tool and maybe they think it's a great all-in-one and they opt into that one only to find later that it's not maybe the best fit for their business. So it's really important to do a wee bit of research and see which tool is going to tick the most boxes for you. Probably you're thinking, or a lot of people might be thinking, are some of these tools affordable for small businesses? Please be aware that you don't have to pick tools like HubSpot to automate your efforts. Those tools are really great, but they're mostly used by the enterprise levels of business that operate with really large marketing budgets. So if that's not your case, you can go small and you can still be really, really effective. So for the lower end of the budget scale, tools like ActiveCampaign, Drip, and Zapier for all budgets are really, really key to automating your systems. ActiveCampaign gives you not just marketing automation, it also gives you software on top of it. I think it starts at about $9 a year on the $9 a month on the annual tier. And it offers you not just email marketing, it gives you things like SMS marketing, Facebook targeting, subscription forms, and you can really, really personalize the content that you're putting out there to each person that you're mailing. It's really, really great, robust tool. If you have deeper pockets, you can go for the higher tier. I think it's $49 a month. And there what you'll have is you can build out sales pipelines, you can do invoices and payment management on top of what they offer in the other packages. So if you have a lead sales team or you want to build out automations specifically around your leads, that is a great, great tool to get you started on that. Looking over at tools like Drip, if you're an e-commerce business, Drip is a wonderful automation tool for your e-commerce businesses, and it focuses on campaign orchestration. So you can create single views across multiple channels. You can really, really connect with your customers and send them, very specific emails specific to e-commerce. Zapier, so if anyone hasn't heard of Zapier before, I like to think of this as the glue on the internet. It literally can automate and connect pretty much any program or software online that you're using within your business and help do things automatically for you. So let's say you generate a lead on your website, but you need to send that lead over to your drip account. You can make that connection happen with your Zapier integration. So Zapier, if you don't use it, definitely check it out. You can schedule out, you know, if you put a post up on your blog, for example, you can use Zapier to send that to all of your social media streams automatically, of course. So check out Zapier for sure. Once you set up your automations or you've identified exactly what you're going to do and you have some running, the last step to the 5 steps of what you need to be doing is analyze your efforts. So after some time of running your automations, take some time to see what is going on in there, what can you optimize, what can you improve, and that is crucial. If you can't measure something, then you cannot improve it. So it's really, really important to start as you mean to continue and keep things going in a way that you can see exactly at a glance what's working and what isn't. I always recommend doing things like A/B testing at every step of your funnel and your customer journey with the touch points with them, so you can then make sure that your automation is working in the best way for you to give you the best growth and return on your investment. Lastly, if you're really, really stuck and you're not sure where to start with your automation journey, I always encourage people to start with their social media. And this is something that you could really easily start with if you are looking to do your social media even for free. Facebook have the Creator Studio now that you can use to schedule out automations and automate your posts to your Instagram and your Facebook. There's other really good tools out there, and if you're a small business, there's a tool called Post-a-Plan that is, I think, $50 for a once-off payment for life, and for that you can be scheduling out your social media for literally every platform that you need to be on, including LinkedIn and Google My Business, which is really going to help with your search engine optimization for your website. It's really important when you're choosing any social media tools, scheduling tools, just to make sure that it's a really good fit for your business before you jump on into any subscription plans. So if you're using something, say like Later, for example, to schedule out your social media, but maybe you're an Instagrammer, or sorry, maybe you're a YouTuber, and then you discover that actually Later doesn't do any integrations with YouTube. So avoid getting stuck in that situation. Do some research and see what's the best fit for your business. And I'm going to hand over now to Colm. Thank you.
Meg O Gara, Colm Healy on Shaw. Good morning, everybody. Colm Healy here from Skelligs Chocolate. And thank you very much, Meg, for not just a wonderful presentation, but wonderful graphics. I'm going to show my age and that I've a white background behind me, and that's it. I tend to work in an audience environment, and I find that much better to engage with people, so apologies. I'm going to start back at the title. So my perspective is very much as a business owner and going through the journey that Meg has described, the pros, the cons, the mistakes I've made, and hopefully the shortcuts you can make learning from my mistakes. So once again, we're looking at marketing your SME in a digital age. The key thing is it's your SME. We happen to be in a digital age. And from my perspective, the marketing aspect is very, very important. The digital aspect is only one part of your whole marketing suite. So let us not forget the basics. I mean, the last 14, 15 months have changed everything for everybody in how we operate. But the basics still count. You've got to make sure that everybody in your organization gives the good first impression. I believe that every staff member is a director of first impressions. And if you're purely digital, it's how you answer your emails, how long it takes you to respond. Do you anticipate the next question that the person is going to ask? Do you have a real phone number on your website? Do you have a physical address? Looking more at the digital aspect, I think Meg has done a great job in setting the foundation for how nowadays there are so many different ways of helping yourself make repetitive tasks easier. So from my perspective, my main business is Skelligs Chocolate, and we would be another one of those buzzwords. I don't have a bee emoji to throw up, but the fact that we're omni or multi-channel. So a lot of our business, over 50% pre-COVID, was on site. The rest then was through retail partners and then direct online. So we always had an online avenue to the customer. And obviously then COVID hit, online or on-site stopped, retail improved, and online just took off. So understanding who your customer is, how they are looking for things. So there's no point in you having the most wonderful post on Twitter if your audience is on Facebook. So you have to make sure that you are where your customers are. And in that regard, I really believe it is vital to be the customer and to empower your staff and your colleagues to also be the customer. All of our staff, whenever they go anywhere, are asked to gauge, was it a friendly welcome? Did somebody ask them for an email? Did they follow up? What was the experience like? So tying this in with where Meg had the funnel, for us, our funnel starts at the front door. So when people have come in, we engage with them, we ask them how they are, we then offer them a deal. We say, give us your email address and we will give you 10% off right here and right now. And we have found that as one of our most powerful starting points, because we're in a remote area and a destination. So anybody who is coming to us has made a conscious point in coming to us. So in that regard, they're already a qualified lead. They come in, they have a good experience, and then we can automate that journey, that once they give us the email address, we can validate it and we can send a coupon direct to their phone within 30 seconds. So they know as soon as they hit the till, they'll be able to avail of that discount. And from our perspective, we know it's a valid email, because if it isn't, it won't work. Following on from that, you're in a situation of the two aspects, whether it's your campaigns, which is, I suppose, a broadcast is the best way of putting it. You have a promotion on for Father's Day and you've developed your email list and you push your content out to everybody. And then you also have your flows. And we find that the flows are really important. And there's a couple of key ones: your welcome, your post, your abandonment, your cart abandonment, and then your post purchase. And we really love them. I mean, the thing that I like best about digital is everything is checkable and accountable. When somebody asks you, did something work? It kind of did, it sort of did. With digital, there's no gray area. And once again, Meg alluded to the A/B testing, and that's trying two versions of the same email. It could be literally just changing the subject line and reviewing which got better opens. We know from experience, and data is out there for everybody, the most important word is free. So if you try two subject lines, one says free widget or discounted widget, you know which is going to open better. So in that regard, from our flows, another one that's really, really important for us is if you bought, for example, a lemon brittle, which is a dark chocolate product, we have it set up that after 30 days, you'll get an email saying, we hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, we reckon you'll also enjoy this product. And it works really well. We also follow up and ask people their opinion of the service. Is there anything we can do better? And I think automation is confused with ignoring. We're not looking to ignore the customer or the lead. It's merely to make regular, daily or weekly tasks easier, that we can add value to our customer. And it's really important in that regard. So Meg mentioned a number of different programs, Keep, Active Campaign. Like a lot of companies, we started off with one of the simpler ones, MailChimp, which is still very powerful, and we use it for some aspects of what we do. But the main one we use is a company called Klaviyo, K-L-A-V-I-Y-O, which is quite a powerful solution. It does everything from the campaigns, the automated emails, through flows. And it ties in with an awful lot of other products that are out there. And you can use Zapier as an integration as well. It's very powerful, but it is one that costs money. So you do need to have an established lead generation capacity and a good list to be able to use it properly. Another aspect for us is tying in gamification. So anybody who's not used to the concept of gamification, and this is where I'd usually look around the audience to see how people are reacting, and that is how you basically make something into fun. And it comprises a number of different elements. For us, we sometimes use like a spinning wheel. So there's websites like Wheel of Pop-ups. So literally, people don't feel that they're just giving an email address. It's like spin the wheel. Oh, you've won 20% off. Give us your email so we can deliver it to you. You're removing some of the barriers. And that's what we want to do, is we want to make it as easy as possible for people to engage with us. So whether it's a wheel that spins around, the ability to scratch off a card, or anything like that, there's many, many websites that will provide that facility and then also help you increase your lead generation and your database. And in this regard, we at least twice a year clear out our subscriber list. We will send an email out to everybody on the list saying, do you still want to be engaged with us? And for some, it's like all about getting as big a list as possible. That isn't a case for us. We want the right people. We want the right people engaged with us the right amount of time. If we're annoying you, you hit unsubscribe, and it can affect the quality of your delivery after that. And I think people appreciate the fact that you're just saying to them, do you know what, we don't want to annoy you. So just be conscious of that aspect of it. I'm also a huge fan of going back to being the customer, of signing up for either competitors or people who I regard as best in practice in different industries lists. I have a separate email address, and I sign up for everything that I think is good. And this helps me not have to create everything from new. There's companies out there that have big budgets, spend lots on marketing. So why not piggyback on what they've done? Find out people in your industry, sign up, and within a year, you're going to have the bones of every occasion. For us, it starts with Valentine's. Then it's Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Then it's Halloween, it's Christmas. So we know all of the different aspects that all of the other companies are working on. And every once in a while, you come up with a gem that somebody has done, and you think, I can really tweak that for myself. So that for me is a really important takeaway. On your website, I'm a big believer that you should have your real phone number, real address. All too often, I see newer businesses, younger businesses, and from a contact us perspective, all there is a form. I don't know if that is a young kid working out of the garage or a proper business. And if you think about it, everything we do starts with a search. When somebody says to you, oh, have you seen this hotel? Did you think of going there? Would you buy that? We Google them. We look at what they're doing. And also what's really important, if anybody has a business that can benefit from reviews, reviews will really help you. There's nothing like having them on your website, being able to push them out when you send emails out. Remember, we all ask our friends, would you do this? What do you think of that? So the next step is genuine third-party reviews that are unbiased. The other thing we look at is trying to maximize the ability from a FOMO, the fear of missing out aspect. So on our website, when you go onto a product, every once in a while, it'll pop up in the bottom left-hand corner. Mary has bought this product 2 hours ago. John has bought this product 10 minutes ago. And all of a sudden you're sucked in a little bit more. And there's a whole space around this. If anybody goes on a booking website, have you seen any of the hotel booking sites? And it's like 37 people are looking at this property right now, or only 4 left. So it's really clever the way they, I don't want to say the word manipulate, but they certainly encourage you to make a decision there and then. You don't want to miss out. So how can you leverage that in your own business? Is there something that you can do that will create interest? Have you a new product launch? Start out with your campaign. And I think this is also really important again, is Automation, as Meg once again alluded, I feel I'm piggybacking a lot on what she did, as planning. It won't make the content for you. You've got to sit down. You've got to decide what way you want to do it. And it does take work. It does take time. And it has to be done right. But once you have your plan, then you can execute it very efficiently. We do a hybrid model in-house again. So some of the stuff we do ourselves, but we also have contracted a third party to do our social media. I'm a big believer in my business, I do what's core to us, what we're good at, where we can really add value. Now, once again, I'm conscious that the audience is going from startup to SME, new to established. So you've got to decide where you are. But if you spend an hour trying to do a post where you could have spent that hour maybe on sales and maybe you'd have made €100, but it would have cost you €20 to get somebody to do a post, that's what you should do, is look at where you're making the most money. So the guy we have that works with us does a combination of the social media, but he also helps me with the content creation and the copy for our email campaigns. So look for yourselves, where is going to be the best use of your time, your resources, and your energies. Let me see if there's anything else that I can throw in there. That's the majority of where I am at the moment, Colm. Like, I'll hand back, and if we can answer back on questions would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Colm. Thanks, Meg. Colm, I actually think I have a question for you straight away. What is the best way to get reviews? It's from an anonymous attendee, so I don't know who asked.
Literally, it's like my dating life in early years. Ask. The worst that can happen is you get a no. If you don't ask, you're no worse off. So when we also have that as part of a flow. So anybody who comes into the factory has given us our email. We have it triggered that 10 days later, we're going to assume they bought something. And we say, we hope you enjoyed your experience. If you did, would you mind giving us a review on either TripAdvisor or on Google? So it's like everything. Nothing is that complicated. Ask.
Mm-hmm. And I have another one here, also from an anonymous attendee. Can you name some gamification websites to use, as I have not heard of this before?
Okay, so literally, if you put in gamification for marketing, there's a whole plethora of them. Now, some of them can become very, very expensive. But if you look at the likes of wheel of pop-ups, so that's like the big carny wheel that you spin it around, and you've different segments where you can put in, oh, sorry, not this time, right up until, you know, you won 20% off or a free widget.
And that was called Wheels of Pop-Ups?
Wheel of Pop-Ups. Wheel singular of pop-ups. But once again, a search will bring it up. Thank you, Meg.
There you go. It looks something like this. Just on gamification as well, if I could just jump in there for a second, there's great tools out there. So for things like quiz builders, like you've probably all seen as you scroll Facebook at the end of the day, like quizzes pop up like, which cast member of Friends are you more like? Or which Skelligs Chocolate bar are you most going to enjoy? Quizzes are so good for your marketing automation streams. It really helps you give that aspect of fun to your potential customer or lead, but also for you in your business, it's going to help you automatically segment your audience. So then you can then kind of pivot to deliver very specific emails and different flows depending on what kind of pot that person gets put into. And so try interact.io, I think, is a really robust quiz builder with so many templates to get you started if you don't want to kind of dedicate the brain space to coming up with questions and things like that. And it's so wonderful for your marketing systems and automations.
All right, Meg, I have a question here from Breed. It says, Meg, you mentioned scheduling and using the scheduling tools. What length of time would you schedule in advance?
So anyone that I work with that is doing this stuff that by themselves, I try and encourage people to set aside a day where they are kind of off the grid, and schedule out as much in advance as you can. So if you have like maybe a 30-day rolling period, try and schedule out your next block for your next month in advance. And then again, just always keep your finger on the pulse of things. So say something happens in like globally, and maybe then that content isn't going to be relevant, you can just hit the pause button. And if you're creating content that's what they call evergreen, so that's content that you can repurpose time and time again, really you can start, if you're using a scheduling tool, you can start to kind of shuffle these posts around on a cycle of, you know, every quarter you might kind of have some of the same posts filtering through. So you're kind of essentially feeding this whole system that you're creating. It's often the challenge is getting started. So schedule, I would say, try and schedule for a month in advance. But if you're not scheduling at all now, scheduling a week in advance is a bonus.
Mm-hmm. And I have one here for Colm. It says, Colm Healy, great way to collect email addresses at the door. Do you have a strategy for collecting email addresses online?
We're in the process of updating our website, but normally we would have a subscribe, or we actually use the spinning wheel on our website as a method for collecting. And I'll be honest with you, has anybody found themselves in a situation where you know you're being gamed, but you're still sucked in and you're quite happy to do it? I find myself on other people's website giving my email address because they've done something clever. And it doesn't feel as if, oh, they're just harvesting my email address. So for us, we have used the spinning wheel on our website, and it really does work. Mm-hmm. Once again, back to A/B testing. Try a week without one, try a week with one, and you'll see the difference straight away.
There's also a great tool for collecting email addresses if you're running a competition or a giveaway or anything like that. And the beauty of this tool is the email addresses you get are double opted in, so you are ironclad for your GDPR. You won't get in trouble with anyone afterwards. And the tool is called KingSumo, KINGSUMO.com, and you can organize your giveaway, and then you can even automate that. It can do the draw for you, so you don't even have to worry about it if you don't want to. We recently ran a campaign with a client, and in a 4-week period, we grew their email list 113%. So it's a really good tool, especially when you want to be, you know, within the restrictions of GDPR.
All right, and I have another one for Colm. It's, do you find Facebook advertising that beneficial if you do Facebook advertising? Okay,
we dip in and out of it. So we're very fortunate because we are also a D2C. So we actually see the end consumers. In 2019, we were fortunate enough to have over 75,000 visitors to the factory. So we really have an insight into our customer base. And stepping back a second, it's really important for everybody to know who their customer is, because you don't know how to contact them without knowing who they are. So a lot of ours are on Facebook, and we have found that paid advertising for us on Facebook isn't really cost effective because we don't have an expensive item to sell per unit. If we were selling a car, yeah, it's worth spending hundreds on a little campaign, but for bars of chocolate, boxes of chocolate, it's not. Thankfully, we're going long enough that we've created a good following, and we're able to push out relevant content and hopefully a little bit of humor as well in it. So for us, we don't use paid in Facebook. I think Meg might have a view on the best way of doing that.
Sure, yeah, I'm a big fan of Facebook ads and Google ads. I run them with a lot of clients. And so with there's two very different kind of audiences that you're trying to connect to, right, between Facebook and Google. With Facebook, even like, I know we do have the retargeting aspect of it, but you essentially are putting that ad in front of cold traffic. You're going to start your journey with that customer who maybe doesn't know anything about you. Whereas with Google ads, you are actively putting your ad at the top of the search results for people who are searching for your exact keywords or your exact product or service, and you're also only paying for the clicks. So if someone doesn't click on your ad with Google, then you're not paying for it. So unlike Facebook, where you're going to be charged per impression, so that's even like if your toddler has your phone and they flick open Facebook and that ad pops up, you're going to pay for that. With Google ads, and this is where where the benefit is, if you haven't got a large advertising budget, you're only going to pay for those conversions or the clicks through to your site.
Sorry, just to follow on from that, a little extra piece on retargeting. If budget is tight, a retargeting campaign is a cheaper one to run. And it's the concept of following you around. If you've been to a site and then you go somewhere else and something with regard to the previous site pops up, it's a cheaper way of doing it. And everybody says, you know, you need those 7 touch points with new people before they'll trust you. And the whole idea of these is, it is something you looked at. So it's meant to be of use to you and not intrusive.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thanks. And I have another one here, I think, for Colm. Conas féidirling níos mó gaeilge a úsáid San Margu.
But Wallam go mai magwelga níos far, agus mar sin ba me an cuid is mó dun rud a dhéanamh trí gwelga ach tá brónarm níl magwelga má golóir chun é seo go léir a dhéanamh trí gwelga. Is that okay?
I think so. And I have more of a comment here. I love Meg's PowerPoint. I have to do a presentation online soon and would love to use that format. And that might be from Colm, is it?
No, that was thank you. Well, it also, I'd echo that. I think it was wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So can I use it?
I think I've answered, or I've asked all the questions. I don't see any more. If anyone wants to put in a last question before we finish up. Yeah.
I just think a comment from me would be, don't worry about the word digital in all of this. It is only a new way of marketing and the basics are still so valid. It's really important to make sure that you have the right product at the right price for the right people. All that marketing is going to do is to help you get that out better.
I have
Fecum Kesto Maeve.
Yep.
Okay. Tá Brónarm Tom Cunlanun to ride Triberla. We are in a Gaeltacht, but it's a pocket of a Gaeltacht in Southwest Kerry here in Ivralig. And I think most tourists, particularly non-Irish, wouldn't understand the signage when it says Gaeltacht. And it's only when they come in and we might have Cúpla Foca with them that they'll understand. And in some ways, it's a sad thing that you're explaining to people that there's pockets of the country that only speak the national language, where everybody thinks it's English. So from us, from our perspective, we try and use it where we can. Unfortunately, for the majority of our customer base, it isn't something that resonates with them. What's better is the fact that we're on the Wild Atlantic Way. That makes more of a difference to them, unfortunately.
And I see one more question come in here. I think maybe both of you can answer if you have experience in it. How effective is SMS marketing? If either of you guys have experience in that.
Maeve, do you want to take that one first?
Sure, yeah. So SMS marketing did see a big fall off with kind of the dawn of more people using tools like WhatsApp and Viber and things like that. Though generally it depends kind of on your industry. But if you connect up with tools like your Active Campaign, where you can sync your emails and you're targeting your emails, and then have kind of a buffer with an SMS, it does seem to show that the conversions are higher than when you don't kind of give that bump with an SMS. There are other tools that you can use that would do the same kind of thing, but with the online programs like WhatsApp and Viber for audiences that maybe would be more using those services. Again, it's all kind of about knowing your customer and knowing what their journey is. A lot of people aren't really using SMSs in the way that we traditionally did. So yeah, Colm, have you any thoughts?
We're revisiting using SMS. At the moment, if you think about it, people answer their SMSs. It's got an incredible open rate. None of us ignore that wonderful little ping that it sounds like, oh, somebody wants to tell me something. We use it an awful lot for deliveries. So with our preferred supplier at the moment, DPD, It is fantastic that we can basically outsource the logistics hassle to somebody else. So if we're sending something to Meg, we get her mobile number as part of a program that we use called Aftership, which ties in with WooCommerce. It'll automate it's on its way to you. You should have had it by now, SMSs, and then they can interact with DPD and change delivery times. I find SMS is very good, more as a reminder. Like if anybody has made an appointment for the dentist, for the hairdressers, it's a wonderful little just, don't forget tomorrow. So maybe not the hard sell of, oh, flash sale on now, but don't forget, we only have 4 of these left. We know that you browsed and you're interested. So if you'd like it, go online and buy it now. It can be important, but it wouldn't be a priority.
And I think, Meg, you can have a spin-off webinar. Does Meg teach how to do this presentation type?
I actually do. I've been teaching it to people, but I've just put together an online course that I'm going to record as soon as I can and get it up there. But in the meantime, yeah, people can connect with me, and I do it with people. Sure.
Yeah, and from me, and just a quick thanks for Colm and Skelligs Chocolate for helping us with lots of complimentary chocolate when Uterus launched the Guilt-Out Naharan brand a few years ago. I think that's all the questions now. I don't think. Well, there's actually one more here. I know we were asked about the Guilt Act as a USP. I think both of you can answer this also. Is the Irish language an asset in marketing?
I'll jump in then. So I'm also involved in the task force Ivralig down here in South Kerry, which is trying to stem the decline in rural depopulation, and then once that's been kind of addressed, make it an appealing place for people to come back to. So we've had great interest in the last 14 months. Amazingly, people have discovered that you can work from home where they were told you couldn't work from home. And I think people have had the opportunity to reevaluate what they want. So the Gaeltacht aspect, there's an awful lot of people in the bigger urban areas. So I split my time between Dublin and Kerry, so I have the benefit of both. The Gael Scoilina are seeing a resurgence, and people really like the ethos of the language. It is a fantastic language, and I love some of the phrases. My mother was from rural Mayo. She went to all Irish school, did her degree in Irish about Irish, and became a principal school teacher. So it's very much immersed in our family. And people, it's more foreign people, and I don't mean foreign, people not from Ireland who love hearing the Irish. I think, unfortunately, the way it was taught in schools was the issue, that it wasn't a living language. It was something you had to endure. So from my perspective, we love using it with people who come to visit us, and we always try and give a cúpla focal or an expression. And for me, maybe it's the company I keep, but Atni and Kiro Gela is always a phrase that pops up for me. Nilain Tinton mar de Hinton Fain. Like, people love when you explain these expressions, and they get it. So yes, it is important. Unfortunately, it's difficult to be able to integrate it into all aspects of what we do. Sinead.
Garma, yeah. I think that is all the questions now. I don't see any more. Yeah, so just thanks again to Colm and Meg, and thanks for everybody joining in. Yeah, thank you, and we'll call it a day.
Thanks for having us.
Garma, Slán.